All right, so in this class, we're going to be learning how to create lip syncing animation. So lip syncing has to do with being able to make your character to be able to speak along with an audio. So we'll have the audio down here. So we're going to be creating our own character and be able to actually make it to talk. So I'm going to play this and let me see if we can hear it.
Hello everyone, how are you doing?
The audio is very, very low, so I'm going to record it again. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get the software for recording. So the software for recording is Audacity. So let me get my Audacity. Audacity should be somewhere down here, but not removed it. Okay, that's Audacity over here. So I have this recorded here. So I'm just going to remove this. So the first thing you do is that you're going to actually get your audio, and to record that you use Audacity. Audacity is a free software. You can actually go to search for Audacity online and download it, and it will just give you the software, and it's free for you to use. So once you get this, the first thing you do is you go to your recorder. So if you have a script, maybe a storyline, and you have someone that is going to be talking in the background or saying something, so you will have to write it down probably, and then you can be able to talk. So let me say I want to say something like, hello, how are you doing? So I'm going to try to be as loud as possible. Hello, how are you doing? And then I'm going to stop. So the first thing you want to do is up here we'll have a blank part. So it's very good that you do that.
Hello, how are you doing?
So this is loud now. So one of the things you could do is to clean up your voice. If you think that it has some kind of background noise, you can be able to just select where you think there is noise in the background, and then you can just go in and select this effect here and go to noise reduction, get a noise profile, then press Ctrl A to select all of it, and then you click again, get to that noise profile again, and click OK. So this will actually remove any noise you actually have in your background. And if you play,
Hello, how are you doing?
and if you need to actually make it a bit louder, because I think Opentoonz usually does not work very, very well with audio, so you want to actually increase the audio as much as possible, but not too much. So I'm just going to increase the bit here to actually give you some gain.
Hello, how are you doing?
Now, what you're aiming at is you don't want this thing to be in red. This
Hello, how
audio
are
here,
you doing?
you don't want it to go to red, so it's going to actually become too bad. So if you want to cut out some parts, let's say for example this is too long, you can just click here and drag over here, and you can press delete on your keyboard and it will cut that part off. You can also cut out some parts from here and delete. Now let's export. So I'm going to click on file and can go for export. So the file format that Opentoonz works with, it works with MP3 very well. So you can click on export MP3, and I can just say let me call this Opentoonz 2, and then I'm going to save it and click OK. So just go ahead to get your file wherever you have saved it. So once you actually get it, you can be able to import it. I'm going to just drag it into this place. So I'm going to get this here, and this is the file. I'm going to just come in, click on this Opentoonz, drag. Sorry, let me get my Opentoonz. This is my software. Now before I do that, let me just quickly remove a few things so that we can have a new file. So I'm going to resave this scene so I can have a new scene that I'm going to work with. So let's call this lipsync 2. and I'm going to delete this mouth layer so that we can start from the beginning, and also this audio. So I just have a character with a face that we can be able to use. Now I can just select my audio and I can drag it into this place. So make sure your playhead is actually at the first frame. So I'm just going to drop it in there and say import. So right now it has imported it, and if you play, let's see.
Hello, how are you doing?
So that's a bit louder. So let me remove these two so that we can be able to work with this. So now we're going to be creating the mouth. So if you look at this, the character that we have, and it's just made up of basic shapes. So I didn't want this class to be too long. This is just something that was created using a rectangle. So just by tweaking different parts of it, and you have the head and the eye. Everything is actually on this particular layer, the head layer. You can call it the head layer. So now I'm going to create a new level or a new column. Click here and I'll use my vector level. So this vector level now, I have this thing here at the top. If you want it to be there, you can leave it there. You can bring it down if you want to. You can just cut it out and paste it at below. So but it doesn't really matter. It can be there and it doesn't really obstruct whatever we're doing. So over here I have my lips, and I'm going to put my lips. So if you notice in this design I did here, I didn't put the lips in there because I want to design my own custom lips. So whenever you're doing this, there are standard lips that you can be able to use. So but it's just something that you will have to discover for yourself. So but most time when you're doing something, you can just focus on a few lips or a few mouth shapes. We'll call it mouth shapes when you're doing your lip syncing. So you just basically being able to synchronize the mouth to the audio, so it will look like it is the character that is actually speaking whatever you are saying. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get I'm in my lips right now. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to get my circle, and let me draw the basic mouth shape, just a basic mouth. So I have this autofill here, I have this color. Now I want to be able to change this. In fact, I want to pick up this color here. Let me pick up the color. Let's do it again. I think we need to create a new one, and we're going to have to copy something. Let me copy this color. Right click, copy the color, and go to this place, and I'm going to paste this color here. So I have this color that I just copied from another level. So by right clicking on it, I'm copying the color. So right now I'm here and I want to be able to create a mouth. So I want this mouth to be a bit just a bit darker, just somewhere this way. So I'm going to get this mouth shape, and let's start with a dark mouth shape. So I'm going to just put something here. So we'll have something like this. So we'll have this. So we can be able to actually make the mouth to be a bit unique or different. So but I'm going to stick with something very, very simple. So I have something like this, and I'm going to go ahead to put just something white in the center here, just to symbolize the teeth. So you could actually design your own style, whatever you actually want it to be. So I'm going to Ctrl C and Ctrl V on it and have this one down here. So once you have this is the first mouse shape I have actually drawn. So it all depends on what you're aiming for. So if you want it to be like it's smaller, you can do that. So now this now a new part. We'll call this the strips, okay, the level strip. Where you can be, if I actually go over here, I think you should be able to see it somewhere here, the level strip. So you can be able to turn it on or off. So this level strip is more like when you click on it, you see that you can have multiple pictures on a particular level that you are working on a particular frame. Okay, so let's say for example I'm here now, I can be able to have a different picture appearing at this particular place, but still it is same level. So it's not like you are putting all the pictures are not showing at the same time. You have different pictures that can be able to show on the same level. So for example now, I'm going to select this part and just select all of it, Control C to copy it. Now I'll click here to enter into the strip parts, okay? And I will click the next part here that's under it. Once you just click on this empty place, there's actually a space here. And I'm going to just click on Control V. So if you go up, you see that you have the same thing. So I will select this one now, and I will click and drag over this to be able to select this. I want to be able to do something like this. So we'll have standard mouse shapes that we can be able to use, but I'm just going to be working with very few mouse shapes. We'll actually have things like L, B, and vowels. So, but I'm going to be going with the basics of lip syncing, just basic shapes. So I have something like this. So if you go up here, you have something like this. Now let me go to the next one. I'm going to be creating about I'll start with about 4 shapes. So I'm going to bring this down. So what you should be aiming for is to make sure that they are all almost on the same place. So it won't look like the mouth is moving in different directions. So I'm moving it up to make sure that it's as if it's the same mouth that is actually changing. Then I have another one. Let me put in another one. And this time around, I'm going to scale it down this way. So let's say this is O, and I'm not adding the lips or anything, so just the basics. And we're going to also make it to even be a bit smaller. Okay, so we'll have this. To come back, we can just come here to the timeline and click here and you'll be able to see this. So the technique to doing this is that you just come in and you can be able to go over to here, and when you click inside here, if you press 2, it changes to this second strip, okay, this picture in this place. If I click in there again, does double click, if I put 3, it gives me that particular shape. But if I use 4, just make sure you're selecting it properly, double click, 4, enter. So sometimes it's going to do that. Let's just go out and come back, and 4, enter, and it changes to that shape. So we can be able to actually use this. So now let's go ahead to actually do that. So let me return this back to 1, and I think I'll also want to put one more lip to actually make it to actually close the mouth. So let me just go down here and do Control V, and this time around I'm going to make it I'm going to remove this and shut the mouth. Okay, so I have this now, and I would like it to actually be in the shop mouth. So 6 here to be this way. Let's be sure that it's actually in the right position. Okay, so we'll have that there. So we have finished putting our mouth shapes. So this is what we call the mouth shapes. So we have finished putting our mouth shapes, and we want to be able to now animate. So first, we're going to select these two, click drag down here. Just make sure you select it properly. Select here and up, and then drag both of them to the duration of the audio or wherever you want it to stop. So if you drag now, this is what we call scrubbing animation. Scrubbing animation. If you actually play,
Hello, how are you doing?
so we'll have that thing there. So I'm just going to go back. You have hello. There are more professional things, working with your consonants and your vowels to be able to do that. But I'm just going to stick to the basic sounds and just try to mimic it. So if I come in here, so I'm going to try to do it like hello. So if you come in here now, look at this. Here you have the particular space. Okay, this is a cell on its own. Okay, a particular frame, or you can call it cell. We can call it a cell or a frame. So before that one, I'm going to make sure that I still stick to 6. So once you do that, look at what happens from here to here. In fact, you can actually go over here and just do, let me just show you this. If you do 6, press 6, enter, 6 again, enter, 6, enter, 6, enter, 6, enter, 6, enter. What is really happening is that, but if I press 5, enter, you actually see that you're going to have a black thing here, showing that the keyframe has changed. But these ones that are the same, showing that the one that is here, this is a keyframe change. Okay, that's the picture, the strip change. Okay, so if this strip has been changed here, it will be this way, and if it remains the same, means that the same one has been maintained. But once you have this, it means that it has changed. So this is what we actually did. So I'm going to just remove that one. So I want this to start from here. So I want to make sure that by this place, this 6 remains. Then the next one will be 5. So if you look at immediately, I just did 5, it changed. So let's come in here and make sure we make this to be 6. And then this one to, let's start with 1. Now, one of the things I like doing is to maintain the mouth shape. So we'll have this here, we'll have this, and it comes back here. I want this to remain 1 here. I think I need to change something here. This particular one that is moving itself, let's delete it and try and this 1, and it's actually moving itself. Let me see. Okay, I hope it's still moving itself. Let me see if I can be able to remove that strip. The strip is still moving itself. So, but all the same, we'll have this. So let me bring it down to L, or this sound here. So I'm going to go for 3. I don't think 3 will do it. Let's go for 2. Let's see.
Hello, how are you doing?
Let's go back again and try this. And then we'll have here. So from here to here, we'll have this, the same mouth. It changes now. We want the same thing here. If you want to be able to see the mouth, like here, we're not really seeing the mouth that we are using. One of the ways to actually be able to see it properly, you can go to your animation if you're not seeing it properly. And once you go to animation, you can see it's 6. If you go down, I don't like using this particular style, but you can use it. It's gonna work good too. So you can be able to see the number of the particular frame you're actually using at a particular time, or the strip you're actually using at a particular time. Let me bring it out. So we'll have this, and I will bring this down. So we're seeing all the ones we're actually using. So we'll have, so here I can maintain this to be a 2 and then change this other 1 to 3. Just press 3 and enter. 3 again, enter. So if you see here 2 and 2, 3 and 3, then here is still 6. We'll be changing it. For some reason it's moving itself, so I can take back the mouse to 1, sorry, to 6. And then let's do another 6 here, and let's go back and see what this looks like.
Hello, how are you doing? Hello, how are you?
Then we need to put some variation here. So here I'm going to add a 4 here before I add another 6 here. Let's add another 4 here. And this is something you do with experience. You just keep working, and with time you actually get your mouth shape. It's just, imagine yourself looking at yourself in a mirror and speaking. You're trying to actually mimic this voice. Okay, so
Hello, how are you doing?
so let's do how are you doing. Hello. So we'll have here how. Let me get this and bring it up. How. So H, how. So let me go for 4, how. 4 again, and I will go for how. Let's drag it. And then R. Let's go for 5. Another 5. So I'm always maintaining this thing to actually appear twice. It keeps the frame so that it's not changing immediately. You can actually even keep it to up to 3 frames. And then I'll leave this one and go for a 1 and another 6 to close the mouth. So let's see, play to be sure.
How are you doing? Hello, how are you doing? Hello, how are you?
So I think here,
How
how. So we'll have R. So R, it's more like a 4. So I'm going to go in here and add a 4. R 4. U, I'm going to use a 1 and a 1. Just press 1 and press enter key. That's what I'm doing. I think I'm going to use 2 here. U, 2, and I'm going to use a 6 to close the mouth, and then let's scrub through. And whenever you make a mistake, you can always go back to change it. And here I'm going to use a 5 and a 4. I'm going to do this one directly. I want to use a 4 here. A 4 here. All right.
Hello, how are you doing? Hello, how are you doing? Hello, how are you doing?
So the last part here, this one, how are you? So here would be, I'm going to use a 5 because 5 is like you. So if you actually search for 2D animation lip sync, you actually see the mouse shapes. So, but I don't want to go into details of doing that because that would take a lot of time for us to, work on in this project. So you can take out time to do professional mouths that would take it. But this is the basic contents, the basic concept that will actually help you to do that. So have here, I'm going to do 5. Okay, this is 5, so I'm going to do another 5 here. Enter. And the next one would be let me use a 2. Let's go out, double click inside, a 2 and a 2 and a 4 and a 4 and then a 6. Alright, so let's play again and see.
Hello, how are you doing? 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 Hello, how are you doing?
So this is the basic concept of how to do mouth lip syncing. So the better you are at listening to the sound, because it takes a bit of time for you to be able to do that, and then how to work with shapes and the mouth shapes. So the more you are doing it, the more you actually get used to working with it, and it becomes easier and easier with time. So basically that's how you can be able to actually put your mouth shape. Once you are done with that, you can be able to I think that's just the major thing about the mouse shape. So if you want to add other effects like the lips and other things, those are things you have to do in your design from the strip here. So but make sure that you, as you're actually doing it, let me go back to my drawing. This is where I actually like seeing my animation. So you have here, you can play it and see.
Hello, how are you doing?
So you can just
Hello,
take
how
that.
are you doing? Hello, how are you doing?
And it's very, very simple to work with. So you can tell any story, whatever you want to do, and you can just go ahead to export your animation with your audio. So if you export it, you can be able to actually have access to the video and everything together. So that's all we're going to do for today.